I'm back after being gone for many days. I thought it was good that I brought a co-host. She just woke up. She's very tired. Are you tired? A little embarrassed, huh? There's people watching you. Do you want to say hi? Can you wave hi? Like night night? Wave? No? Okay. Will you do tricks for Bombas? No? You'll eat them, huh? Okay. She might not do tricks for Bombas, but she'll eat Bombas, that's for sure. That's one of those fun things you get used to if you ever go to Israel with myself or Dallas. We get ourselves a lot of Bombas, don't we? You like the Bombas? Oh, yeah. Okay. So we're in Leviticus 22. I haven't read ahead. I have no idea. So we're just going to open up our Bibles and we're going to start reading together and we're going to see what we see. Okay. So I'll get a Bomba supply for you. I know. Say please. Yeah. Well, that was a good please. Thank you. There you go. Bomba. All right. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and his sons that they separate themselves from the holy things of the children of Israel, that they do not profane my holy name by what they dedicate to me. I am the Lord. Say to them, whoever of all your descendants throughout all your generations goes near the holy things which the children of Israel dedicate to the Lord, while he has uncleanness upon him, that person shall be cut off from my presence. I am the Lord. Whatever man of the descendants of Aaron who is a leper, who is a discharge, shall not eat of the offerings until he is clean. Whoever touches anything made unclean by a corpse, or a man who has an emission of semen, whoever touches any creeping thing by which he would be made unclean, or any person who would become unclean, whatever his uncleanness may be, the person who has touched any such thing shall be unclean until evening, shall not eat the holy offering, unless he washes his body with water. You gotta wait a second, okay? Patience. Where's the word water? There it is. Verse 7. And when the sun goes down, he shall be clean, and afterward he may eat the holy offerings, because it is food. Whatever dies naturally or torn by beasts, he shall not eat, to defile himself with it. I am the Lord. They shall therefore keep my ordinances, lest they bear the sin for it and die thereby. If they profane it, I, the Lord, sanctify them. Okay. So, off the bat here, we see clarifications about Aaron and his sons. Now, James chapter 3, is that what you're thinking? You're thinking about Bombas, aren't you? Okay. She's addicted. Pray for her. So, James chapter 3, verse 1, let not many become teachers, knowing that they shall receive the stricter judgment. You know, that's something that's true throughout the Bible. I think we talked about this briefly before, a few chapters ago. But, you know, First Timothy chapter 3, we see qualifications for an overseer. That's our Greek word, episkopos. New King James says bishop. And again, it's the idea, it's a person who oversees other people. That word bishop's gotten used different ways over the years, right? But the main concept is you oversee things. You are at the top. And then below that is deacons and diakonos. And that word is a servant, but you're serving in an official way. You know, we're all servants, but then there's a role of servant, kind of like elder, right? There's an official role for the elders. It's a position. And then it's the same word in the Greek, just like the English, for an old person, right? And obviously not all old people are elders, but you use the word both ways. Same with servant. All Christians are called to be servants, but not all have that role of a deacon. You're so cute. You're very tired. And so the episkopos and the diakonos in 1 Timothy 3, you'll note that the lists are almost identical. They really are. You see those Bombas. Okay, you think you're being good. Say Bamba. Bamba. She does talk actually quite a bit. It's just when she's shy and tired. So, Bombas. Melissa, did you get Bombas while you were in Israel? She's addicted to them. Now we have to import them to keep her happy. No, not really. Fred Meyer actually carries them. All right. So, the lists are almost identical, except for the episcopus has higher standards. And the example I used before, and it's not the most important point, but it's the easiest one to show the contrast, is in 1 Timothy 3, under the overseers, the bishop or episcopus, it says not given to wine. And then under the diakonos, the deacons, the servants, it says not given to much wine. What's the difference? Well, again, it doesn't define with a fine line, black and white, what is given to wine, what is much wine. But we can go on this. The line here is that we know that drunkenness is a sin. So much wine doesn't mean drunkenness, because it doesn't mean, and it's worth noting this whole list, this is something that helps you understand the qualifications, because a few of them are actually a little bit harder to understand, but they're all higher. Bamba? They're all higher up than just regular Christian living. And so obviously it's not going to say like, don't steal if you're going to be a leader, and don't lie if you're going to be a leader, and don't murder if you're going to be a leader, because no Christian should do those things. So no drunkenness is obvious. That's like no Christian should get drunk. So not given to much wine means there needs to be a real strong consideration on what drinking is being done if you're a leader in the church in the sense of a deacon. You might not be the head guy, but you hold a position, and people look to this person for leadership. They recognize, I see that guy, he's serving every week, he's in a position where he's recognized, or a woman for that matter, right? We'll study that when we actually do 1 Timothy. But I do believe women is actually mentioned down there later in the deacon section. And so men and women servants holding positions, doing things. Now when you move up to the elder position, the overseer, Bamba. Say Bamba. Say Bamba for everyone up there. Say Bamba. You know you're being watched. Say Bamba. She whispers it to me. Okay. And so the catch is this, is that, no, you get one. Eat your one. Is that the given to wine, obviously the leader who's just not given to wine, many people take that to mean that leaders should just abstain from alcohol. And all I'm going to say is, I think it's a great bit of advice. I've always struggled to make that a hard line, but it's one I would encourage. It's kind of like, I don't know if I'm quite ready to make that law. But at the same time, yeah, the leaders, that they're just holding themselves to a higher standard just because. It's not that they have to. It's not that they're in some great sin if they had one drink, but really being cautious. So what we know is that drunkenness, no matter what's a sin for all Christians. So if you're a leader in the church, like a deacon, you hold some position that you need to be really cautious. But then if you're one of the high up guys, you're an elder, you're the pastor, assisting pastor, then really super cautious about the way you live. And this was just one example, one point that had some good verses to cross-reference. And so taking it back to Leviticus, okay, today we did verses 1 through 9. And really it was the leaders. They were held to a higher standard that all the other guys weren't held to. You're so cute. Okay, so that's the catch, is understanding that our leaders should be held to higher standards. And in all honesty, right, like it blows my mind when you see in some churches where you've got, right, a pastor, saying curse words, or thinking it's cool to go out and get drinks with the pastors after church. I've heard of a pastor's conference, and afterward everyone goes to the bar and they're all hanging out there having their drinks together. And again, it's like, it's not necessarily a sin that they want to have a drink, but when you're in leadership, the standards are higher because so much more is at stake. All done. Say all done. Okay. Well, I think I should be all done too. We only got 9 verses in today. I'm easing my way back in. We've been doing whole chapters at a time, but just reminding that leadership is held to higher standards. It's not the standards of everyone else. It's not just a matter of is it sin or is it not, but as all Christians, and I would say there's no reason any Christian wouldn't want to live a more holy life. In fact, in that same chapter, in chapter 3 of 1 Timothy, verse 1, just like we had James, chapter 3, verse 1, it says that he desires to be an episcopus, desires a good thing. And so, last point on leadership, I think this is worth noting. Many people will comment on how the ability to teach, able to teach, it is only found in that first part. It's actually only found twice in the Bible, that word. It's also in 2 Timothy 2:24, where it says, all who want to be a servant must be able to teach. So realistically, everyone's called to kind of teach to some level or another. That's how you make disciples, is by teaching. But that said, is people focus on that, like that's the big key point. But the irony is this: of the whole list of bishops and deacons, the ability to teach is actually a spiritual gift. That is listed in 1 Corinthians chapter 12 as a gift. And if God has called someone to those leadership positions, he'll give them the gift. And if you have a gift, you don't have to work on it because it's a gift. Everything else, whether bishop or deacon, high up leadership or any leadership, they're all about character. It's all about the kind of man and woman you are. And so that's the thing to remember, is God is looking for people of great character, not great qualities, or, and I'm thinking qualities like as far as like gifts, like they've got all these gifts, or they have all these skills, or they have all these, things they can do, abilities. And God is looking for people of great character. And the higher up you want to get, or just for anyone, the more you want to be used of God, the more we ought to be focusing on our character and living above the basic standards. And so that's what God was doing here with Aaron and his sons, all the priests, was showing that they had even higher standards. This stuff that applied to the people applied to them all the more so, and had more stricter consequences for them because they were going to be held to a higher standard. So there we go. Can you say bye-bye to everyone? Can you say bye-bye? It's little. Come on, big wave. Big wave. Say bye-bye. You just see yourself, huh? You don't really see them, do you? Okay. You're so chill this morning. Can I have a kiss? Thank you, sweetie pie. All right. We're going to go bye-bye now. Did you see the hearts coming up? There was hearts over there, weren't there? Okay. I love you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone. There's a heart. You see that? Is that cool or what? Yeah, I know. There they go. All right. Bye, guys.